Alright, so this is going to be my review of the Rise of Skywalker. It wasn't actually that bad. I feel like if the Last Jedi had not come before it, like if it wasn't preceded by a dog shit movie, this movie would not have been good. But considering the fact that the Last Jedi came before it, and that movie just kind of like it was condescending to men. It was filled with cute horse shit. Considering all that man hate and incompetence and head up your ass, pretentious, false claims to moral superiority. Considering that, this movie, not terrible. Like, for example, okay, here's some of the things I didn't really like. I didn't like how the first maybe 1/5 of the movie was like all the dialogue was just this snappy patter. Like they were just, I don't know, it was like, what is this, an episode of Friends? Like what the hell's going on here? And it was so busy. Like there were so many scenes that were like, there were so many camera angles that were on the screen for less than 2 seconds, and it was just like, what do I have to have ADD to appreciate this movie? There was a lot of stuff like that where like in the first fifth of the movie, I was thinking, I don't know if gonna be able to sit through this. This is gonna be trash, and I was thinking about getting up and leaving. There was that scene where the stormtroopers got catapulted into the air and they were flying around, and C-3PO was like, oh, they can fly now. And then Poe was like, oh, they can fly now. And then Finn goes, oh, they can fly now. There was a lot of that bullshit humor, but I feel like that was kind of contained within the first fifth. Once they started getting involved in the drama between Rey and finding out who her parent, like her father or grandfather / parents were, like once they started getting into the drama of that and getting into the interactions between her and Kylo Ren, it started to get more interesting. And speaking of Kylo Ren, like he's been one of the more, like there's Finn and Kylo Ren, like their stories were, those guys were some of the more interesting characters, and they actually made Kylo Ren kind of intimidating in this one. Like he wasn't crying the whole time. He was actually just like cold and clinical, just doing what he had to do, taking care of business. There were some emotional scenes with him later on, which were also good, but he wasn't like a baby. Like he was a man in this one. Like they didn't reduce all the men to just incompetent crybabies or bungling doofuses. Like, they treated the men in this one with dignity. Like, FN number and Poe, like, they were taking control, and they were, like, they were showing competence. And I thought that was cool. So, yeah, like, probably about a fifth of the way in, the snappy Friends sitcom humor kind of slowed to a stop. And it started to be, like, I was interested for a while. Also, there was no cute animals. Like, they introduced this cute little robot, and when they did, I was like, oh god, they're introducing more characters. There are enough characters. There's so many characters. But the cute little robot didn't take the center stage. Rose Tico was in this one, but she was not a cartoon character in this one. She just did her job. She had dignity. She acted like a normal person would act. She went around doing her job. She didn't like go around zapping people with a cattle prod and making all these quirky, moronic jokes and inserting her baby-brained moral superiority into every scene. Like she was just a person, like a regular person. She did her job. Maz Kanata was in this one. I didn't hate her. I hated her in The Last Jedi. like she was actually acting like a person who was in an army or a space navy. Like in the Last Jedi, she was just like, she was an idiot. I think the first time we see her, she's like, "Oh, is that Chewbacca? Is that my boyfriend? It's my boyfriend, Chewbacca." And it's just like, where are we? Are we in the Rebel Alliance, or are we in a hair salon owned by some moronic hairdresser? Like, who are you? No, that was actually in the Force Awakens, but she was still cartoony in Episode 8. But in this one, she was almost like, she was just emotionless. Like, she was almost like E.T. But my point is, she didn't get in the way. She wasn't a cartoon character. I feel like these cartoon characters, they really ruin Star Wars. I gotta say. I feel like excessive cartoony characters, cute little animals, and sometimes comedic actors. Like, I complained in The Mandalorian about how a lot of the comedic actors were there, and it kind of took away from the seriousness and the tension of The Mandalorian. I feel like they cut all the cartoony bullshit out of this one, and it helped. It helped a lot. What else? Yeah. Apart from like the snappy sitcom dialogue, the fierce camera cuts and changes, the busyness of it. There was a lot of busyness. There was a little bit of busyness in the final fight, but there was a lot of good stuff. I liked how there were a lot. The aliens were creepier. I like how they went to this like desert planet, and there was some kind of weird festival, and all the people were squid people, and they were doing all the squid people dances. Like they were the gross aliens that I like to see in Star Wars. Some of the aliens, like one of the spies, looked like he walked out of a Pixar cartoon, and I didn't really like him, but he got his head chopped off, so it was kind of nice. There was this one scene where, like, Emperor Palpatine, I don't think that's a spoiler, I think everybody knows that, but Emperor Palpatine was in it, and he was, like, trying to electrocute Rey, and, she held out a lightsaber, and then she took another lightsaber, and she was deflecting the lightning back at him, and was, like, burning the Emperor, and that happened in episode, 3? I think that was the Revenge of the Sith where that happened, but I just feel like that's stupid, because the lightning is coming out of the Emperor's hands and bouncing off of a lightsaber and hitting him. I feel like the moment that happened, I would stop shooting lightning out of my hands. It's like every time I see that, it's like Rey should have been like, "Why are you hitting yourself, Emperor? Why are you hitting yourself? Are you so stupid that you're hitting yourself?" Like, it's just such a dumb way to... It's dumb. Yeah, there were, like I said, if Episode 8 hadn't been so stupid, and if it hadn't come directly before this one, this would be a very... I don't know. I wouldn't have... I don't think I would have liked it. Like, I would have been a harsher critic of it. But with The Last Jedi in mind, this was like a breath of fresh air. I feel like they did the best they could at salvaging the story, about salvaging Star Wars. Like, I'm probably never going to watch this one again, because The Last Jedi put such a horrible taste in my mouth. I'm probably never going to watch this, but I feel like Star Wars, not dead to me. This was enjoyable, considering. Do I have anything else that I really want to complain about? Or I really liked the emotional, like, Rey actually had some emotional baggage in this one. Like, she actually had to, she actually had a backstory. She had, like, character. She was a human in this one. She wasn't just awesome. She got kind of beaten by Kylo Ren at one point, and he was probably about to kill her, and you know, she had to get help. There was some fun stuff. Like at one point, Chewbacca got a medal. Like that's one of the biggest criticisms of the original Star Wars is that everybody got a medal except for Chewie, and there was like this scene where they specifically handed Chewie a medal, and I kind of like that. I don't know, like there were times when I was annoyed. I feel like they kind of made 3PO annoying, and I just didn't like when the newer characters were making fun of them. It's like C-3PO was your superior. Like, where do you get off? C-3PO, he's a veteran, and you're over here dissing him like all these new whippersnappers, just disrespecting him. I don't know. They kind of made him a little silly, and what else? Do I have anything else to complain about? Yeah, considering episode 8, it's not bad. Like, I would say, because of the fact that episode 8 came before this, and it's the only dignified, respectful way that they could have continued that story, I would have said that this is like a B minus probably. But if this story could stand alone somehow, I think I would have given it like a somewhere around a C minus. But yeah, I gotta respect what J.J. Abrams did. Like, he made an enjoyable story in the same storyline. Like in the official Dan canon, like, I feel like there's certain I have certain picks from franchises. Like, I like Alien 1 through 3. I don't recognize Alien Resurrection. I like Indiana Jones 1 through 3. I don't recognize The Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Those movies are dead to me. Last Jedi, dead to me. Force Awakens, I don't care. Like, this movie was the best of the 3 sequel trilogies. Like, I almost think of this movie as like an alternate timeline. Like, you know how sometimes superheroes will be like, yeah, well, let's tell this story. What if this happened? This is almost like a what if timeline. And this was like the best of the sequels, in my opinion. And yeah, I guess I give it a B minus. All right, I guess I'm done. See you later. Thanks for watching.